So in the previous video, I showed you that during the process of cellular respiration, there's a lot of electron stripping and moving and taking them to somewhere else. So this stripping of electrons and giving them to another molecule through steps um, has a specific name. It's a specific type of reaction, which is called the oxidation, reduction, or redox reactions. And basically, this type of reactions involves one set of molecules losing electrons and another set of molecules gaining electrons. So let's dive in to see what actually it entails. So there are two different terms that you need to understand, and they can be actually counterintuitive. So take some time, and if it takes you a little bit to get it right, don't worry, you're not alone. This is, as I mentioned, counterintuitive. So the term oxidation means losing electron, and you can use this acronym OIL as a way to help you remember. Oxidation is losing. So when a molecule loses an electron, we say this molecule is going through a process of oxidation. Or another way is to say this molecule is being oxidized. Now, on the other hand, reduction means gaining an electron. And this is where it is very counterintuitive, because when we think about the regular word of reduction, we think of something being taken away. But in this case, it actually has the opposite effect with respect to whether or not a molecule gains an electron or loses one. Reduction means gaining an electron. And the acronym you can use to help you remember it is RIG. Reduction is gaining. So OIL, RIG. Oxidation is losing. Reduction is gaining. So when a molecule receives an electron, it doesn't even have to be one, it could be more than one electron. So when a molecule receives an electron, we say the molecule is undergoing reduction. This is a reduction reaction, or we say the molecule is reduced. Now, in the context of cellular respiration and for our class, we follow the movement of electrons in the context of hydrogen. So it is the hydrogen that when we move an electron, we move it in context of the hydrogen. We're moving around hydrogen. So one way to help you figure out whether something is being oxidized or reduced, one question you can ask is, well, is this molecule losing hydrogens or gaining hydrogens? And again, this is only in the context of what we're talking about today, because oxidation reduction can happen even with no involvement of hydrogen. Okay, so in the case of cellular respiration, when molecules that we see that are losing hydrogen, they're also losing an electron. And then the ones that gain hydrogen, they're the ones that are gaining an electron. And another important point is that oxidation and reduction reactions cannot happen without the other. You have to have both of them. So it's a coupled reaction. You can't have a reduction reaction without oxidation. You cannot have oxidation without reduction. So let's take a look at cellular respiration. See if we can find and use that hydrogen rule that I told you, if we can guess what is being oxidized, what is being reduced. So take a look at this glucose. And the glucose, we said we're going to break it down into what? We're going to break it down into CO2. And look, this molecule is losing all of its hydrogens. So is it being oxidized or is it being reduced? The oxygen here, we're turning it from oxygen, remember it's the last electron acceptor, it gains hydrogen. So if it's gaining hydrogen, is it being oxidized or reduced? So glucose is undergoing loss of hydrogen atoms, which is carrying the electrons with it. So it is being oxidized. Oxygen is gaining electrons or hydrogen atoms, and is being reduced. So, where do these electrons come from? All these electron reaction, the oxidation reduction reaction, you can see that they're happening here, 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 and all these electrons are coming away, and then they're going into these steps. So that's where oxidation reduction reactions play an important role. So I want to invite you to write the summary reaction for cellular respiration and draw for yourself which molecule is oxidized and which molecule is reduced.